letting go of arguing for limitations and realizing it's a fucking trap. Welcome to Elevate TV. I am the reality architect and your favorite host, Tremise Valentine, and this is the channel where we are transcending our minds and our lives to magnificence. First of all, I want to start by saying thank you for tuning in to the returning viewers, and if you are a new viewer, go ahead, click that subscribe button, go ahead, like, because I know you're going to enjoy this video just as much as any other video now and in the future. All right, much love to y'all. I've been growing my channel consistently, and I've been dedicated to this challenge of going live or posting content for 30 days straight. And it's been over 21 days of me going live, and it truly has been magnificent. And I've been learning things, learning what not to do, what to do. And I also want to say, for the next 300 or so days, aka until the end of the year, I'm going to transform my life. I'm building my dream life. Not even just talking about this YouTube channel, but my life, okay? Like, I know that IG and TikTok and YouTube is full of new year, new me, new year resolutions and all the type of content and how to up-level your life in X amount of days. But this ain't that, okay? This is personal, and this is an invitation for you to join in if you feel called to. I've had a couple months doing this on my own, and I realized December of last year that it's time. That it's time for my life to change, because I refuse to look back 5 years from now when I'm 40, thank God, and still be in a place wanting and hoping and wishing that I didn't have this job, hoping and wishing that my life was different. I refuse to be doing that. So, I want to be able to look at my life and look back at myself in the next year and say, wow, I did that. And this is how. If you don't know already, this time last year, I was traveling full time in my RV with my wife, literally dreaming about being financially free. We were struggling, but still enjoying life. How can you not, if you're able to see so many vast parts of the world that are just so beautiful and ineffable? You know what I mean? We have manifested all that we have desired up until this point. And now we're working on the financial aspect and, building that platform and investing and inspiring others to build theirs as well. But before this, I came from struggle, and she came from struggle in a different sense, financial struggle. And we both had that background. So you manifest and materialize what you identify with. And we have been identifying with that struggle for so long. And now is the end. It's been the end, and there's no more. We're really working towards shifting our frequency and our reality and what we identify with towards abundance, because believe it or not, abundance is all around us. It's just a matter of what you're focusing on, what you choose to identify with. So this is why I'm making this video, to hold myself accountable. Not only holding myself accountable, but to inspire and elevate the collective consciousness. This is bigger than me. Not only is it for me and my family, but this is for the collective consciousness. It's personal, but it's also way bigger than me. So while I do this, I am constructing and building my dream life. Realizing that the constructs of struggle can be torn down to construct and build something worthwhile. That's the realization that I have come to really accept, because I've been knowing this, but I have accepted and started to understand that I am worthy. And so this is it. Letting go of arguing for limitations and realizing it's a fucking trap. I'm building my career at the same time, like I said, because I know a part of my purpose is to be a life coach, is to be that influence for change. And I know that something has to give at some point. And so this is me. This is what is happening. And I feel like December was that turning point. My birthday, it was that turning point. And it's just going to get better and better. We can consume ourselves in starting up for so long because we get caught up in imposter syndrome. In all actuality, that in and of itself is also a constructed limitation. Imposter syndrome isn't even real. It's just a feeling and a thought that we keep continuing to tell ourselves that we're not good enough, that we have to be at a certain level to live this type of life, to be that person. But you have to start somewhere. A doctor doesn't just become a doctor. They study, they start small, and then they become that ultimate doctor. A professional doesn't just become a professional overnight. As in sports, you know what I mean? They practice, they start in the little leagues or whatever, and then off to high school and then to the big leagues, you know what I mean? You have to start somewhere. And throughout that whole process, they understand who they are becoming. You are a basketball player now. You are that doctor now. You are that of which you want to be, that world-renowned cook, that world traveler, that farmer, whatever it is that you want to be. I am that person who influences and inspires others to change their life. I am that coach. I've had many people tell me I should make a podcast and such. And I have such a deep understanding of intellect of how things should be, how things can really change. You know what I mean? And this is it. It's now becoming a bigger and bigger scale. So we can consume ourselves as much as we want to, but we have to start somewhere, guys. We have to. Or else we're going to continue to feel like we're going in circles. Or we're going to continue to feel like we're going around that same mountain with the same situations and feelings and people and not getting anywhere. I've been there. I have been there. That's what I'm saying. We can start to construct our dream life and deconstruct what is not working. And so in January, I started to take my YouTube journey serious. In the beginning of January, I only had like 53 subscribers. My watch hours or my views were at like maybe 2,000. Bro, to this day, my subscribers is almost to 300. My viewership is almost to 30K. Just from January, I started to take my YouTube journey serious. And then I made a community called Cosmic Abundance Network because we can construct the life that we desire, which is a community of like-minded people who are ready to stop searching for people to support them and grow with them. This is the community. This is the community to hold you accountable, to help you grow, to help you figure out a strategy that works for you, to actually start to create new habits and things of that nature, to identify better with that desired reality. So I'm putting out content for personal development while creating the life that I truly desire and helping inspire other people to do the same. But before this, I tried to do what society said, like get a 9-to-5. I was in the military right out of high school. That was a dud. I didn't listen. Bro, that's a whole nother story. But I worked in many chemical plants and warehouses because where I'm from, that's a high demand and it pays pretty well. But essentially, that never sat right with me. I was even still struggling doing what society suggested that we should do. And I was never happy. I felt lost. It just didn't sit right with me, okay? So I said, there was always something within me that wanted to travel. I always liked to travel, even if it was on a plane. So I was like, I want to travel. I want something that can help me see the world. So I got my CDL. But that was too much work and not enough enjoyment. Not enough for me, at least. So then I realized, like, I've worked so much, but I still have nothing to show for it. That's when I dropped everything that I was doing that wasn't working, like working the 9-to-5, partying and drinking and being in the wrong relationships with people, friends, and even close relationships. I dropped all that, moved out of my home state, and I started to travel. I met the love of my life, and I started to pick up personal development books and courses and things like that. And in that course, I met my wife because she was my accountability partner, and we got together and we decided to travel the US. We got an RV. You know, we were still traveling and struggling just as we did when we were working, but we fucking loved it. We fucking loved life way more because, you know, discovering different parts of the world is like discovering different parts of you. And how can you not enjoy life if you're seeing so much beauty? Like I said, before that, I felt lost. It felt like I was working in roles that required me to be someone I wasn't. So since January, I've been posting more about my take and what I've learned about the power of the mind and creating with intentions. And results have been amazing and it's getting better and better. You know, this is the things that I have learned over the past 5 or 6 years from my personal development journey. And I have known for ever since I could remember that I meant to do something bigger than me. Ever since I was a little girl, I have known that I was meant to do something bigger than me. I knew some way or another I was going to, quote unquote, change the world. My name will ring bells around millions of houses one day. I know that. And so it is. With all that being said, I knew it wasn't about societal expectations. I've always known that, but there was something in me that didn't have the courage to go the other route, to be that lone person out there dancing by themselves and eventually attracting the other people to come dance with me. You know what I mean? That courage was never within me, but now it is. And I thank God for it. I thank Source. You know, I'm so thankful for it because it feels so good to walk in your purpose, to know maybe the 3D is not reflecting everything that you desire right now, but it is working out. Everything that is coming about, that has come about into my experience is for me to learn from, and I know that. So I'm thankful for it. And I know that it's only going to continue to get better the more that I go and live out my purpose and be the best me that I can be every fucking day and not worry about the next man, but be better than who I was yesterday. You know what I mean? And the same for you. So it's not about societal expectations, but it's about what my soul expects. What's about what your soul expects, and really being and doing what is on your heart's desire. And if I really put my head down and commit myself to these areas, there's no way, no reason why it shouldn't pan out. Like I said, I don't mean just the YouTube thing. I'm going to put a slide together of everything that I want, everything that I'm changing, such as my routines, projects, fitness, content, lifestyle, finances, travel, creative consulting, and personal development. I'm going to put a slide together because I haven't gotten everything down, but I know that for sure my life will change because I'm getting clear on everything that I want. Clarity is the beginning of change. And you would think clarity of this magnitude feels comforting. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was excited and motivated, but as time goes on, you realize it's not so easy. It gets messy. It gets daunting. Going on this journey and doing this challenge is great, but it's a wild ride. I still don't know a lot of things. Sometimes I feel like I'm just going through the motions, trying to figure out what it is that I'm supposed to do today versus tomorrow versus the next day. And I've read many self-help books in the context of investing, personal development, but applying it to my life sometimes definitely feels like the messy middle, like in that area of my life where nothing makes sense. Like I'm putting the step forward, but I'm seeing no results, it seems like, or that it's coming together even though it doesn't feel like it, you know? No one prepares you for how hard it is to start over, and the crazy part about changing your life is it doesn't feel like it's changing. So I'm here for accountability and to build a community, a network for anyone who is also looking to deconstruct and build their dream life. This isn't about trying to clickbait, but put in the work together and document my journey and teach what I've learned in these past 5 or 6 years. I'm determined to stick to this and build an empire while building my dream life. But when we talk about building your dream life, there are 3 things you need to know. There's always 3, right? Everything comes in 3s, I feel like. So 1, honestly, it doesn't look or feel as good as it sounds. You start every journey excited on what you or life could look like at the end. But no one talks about the process and how messy it can feel, and how you just don't know what you're doing half of the time, or you lapse back into old habits. No one talks about that. But it happens and it's fine. You just remind yourself of that vision. You give yourself grace and you keep pushing, because we all fuck up sometimes. No one is perfect. No thing is perfect. So give yourself grace when those things do happen. Know that it's okay. And that's what the community is for, all right? And what I'm going to do over the next year is document the good and the bad. You can even check out my past 2 lives or so. I think it was day 19. I was having a rough day and I talked about it. Or day 18. It's about being neutral and detaching from the outcome, detaching from what you expect other people to do, detaching from you trying to be perfect. Just knowing that things are going to work out one way or another. As long as you keep pushing, it's going to happen. I'm sticking to the plan and I'm still here. You know, we all have our days. Some days you may not even do anything towards the vision. And that's okay. It's all a part of the journey, and there's something to learn from. There's always something to learn from, whether it's something that you do want or something that you don't want. There's always something to learn from, and take that knowledge and turn it into wisdom. And I'm sure that on the other side, where greatness is, it doesn't come easy. I know this, you know this, we all should know this. The more you do something, the more it becomes easy. But nothing good comes easy. You know what I mean? It's going to be hard. Life, bro, it's going to be hard. You know, creating that dream life is going to be hard. And living the life that you don't want is also hard. So pick your hard. But the thing is, when you are creating your dream life, the life that you desire, that will become easy. But the life that you don't want is always going to be hard, because you don't want it. Because you have that heartache. Because you have that fear. Because you have those doubts. Because you have that stress. But when you shift that energy and realize that it's always going to be hard one way or another, when you start to live that dream life and choose to have courage in that dream, choose to have courage in yourself, the more that you go after it, the easier it's going to become, and the stronger you become, and the wiser you become, and the more knowledgeable you become. You know, we're always going to have obstacles. Always, always, always. That's just a part of life. But when you are choosing to build and choosing to build that strength and knowledge, the obstacles become so minute. That's the thing, my guy. Choose your heart. The second thing goes with what I just said, right? It gets hard before it gets easy. We're talking about new habits, a new perspective on life. These things take time. It takes time to train your mind to keep going. It takes time to train your body. You can't look at it as a roadblock because it's a part of the process. Just look at it as a detour. You know, detours always get you to that destination, but a roadblock is going to turn you right back around. So, it's all about perspective, my friends. You can have twins growing up in the same house, growing up in an abusive house, growing up in hardship, you know what I mean? Twins. One twin decides to look at life as if he wants to get out of this. He doesn't want to live this life anymore. He's going to create better for himself. He becomes a successful entrepreneur and inspires others to do the same. And the other twin lets the hardship get to him, lets it eat him alive. He's on drugs. He ends up on the streets. So it's all about perspective. It's all about what you choose to do with your circumstances. You see? And here we're striving for progression, not perfection. That's also what this is about. Progression. There's no such thing as perfection. We can't skip the hard parts. because the hard parts is what builds character. Trust me, I've tried and I just felt stuck. But a good reminder, and a reminder that I always tell myself, is what I'm going through, I am growing through. It takes decades for some people to become masters of their craft in certain fields. Like Goose Wayne, he's a comedian on this platform and other platforms. It took him 17 years to get to where he's at. 17 years. But let me tell you, those years are probably some of the hardest, toughest these people have ever endured. And it'll probably be the same for you and me. But it's always worth it when you come out on the other side. That's what I'm striving for. The third thing that I'm honing in on while architecting my reality is accountability. Keeping my word. Keeping your word is key. Your word is bond. Straight up. I used to be really embarrassed when I told someone I was going to do something and end up not keeping my word. I would avoid them like the plague. Honestly, there's nothing more embarrassing than that to me. I hate not being a woman of my word. So I love to reach a point this year where I can say that doesn't sound like me. If I said it, then it's done. Boom. Accountability in my eyes forces you to be that person. Especially when it's a bunch of strangers watching me on the internet. It's like, by my nails, I'm tracking my journey so I can't lie. So I can become that person. And I won't lie. So before we go any further, I want to touch on what to expect more from me on this channel. I want to be more transparent and show you what it takes to build that dream life. Some episodes will be more eventful than others. Some will be touching on what I learned from day to day or following my routines. It's going to differ, or even just episodes for growth. But essentially, it's all gearing towards elevating and building that. Maybe even have my head down working on something, but I want to share it because I think it's important. Not everything is always flashy and elegant. That used to be me on the outside, and it didn't really do anything for me. If you see me, I'm not really that flashy anymore. So I want to put that out there because it's not as flashy as people would expect it to be when building something like their dream life. So every quarter or so, I'll sit and reflect like this on the past 90 days, 6 months, 9 months. Then the yearly reflection at the end. We'll be able to break down patterns and methods to getting the ball rolling over a period of time, whether it's 90 days or 9 months. We're sticking to positive energy and putting it out there because we're bound to get it back. Life is a mirror, so what we're putting out, we're going to get back. I know I've tried to do this on my own for like 2 years now, and it just isn't as good as I know it can be. I'm like, let's try something new. Third time's a charm. So I am going to stick to the routine, and just see what sticks, what works, and see how my life is in a year. And if you are down with it, we can hold each other accountable. If you want to truly, truly join, let me know in the comments. Subscribe and join the Cosmic Abundance Network. There will be freebies, discounts on any merch and some products as well, raw exclusive content, and of course, a place where we can really communicate and be accountable. But this will probably be one of the toughest things that I will ever do. And I'm excited to see where it takes me. I'm excited to see where it goes. We must do something new to create a new. I know there are so many ways to do it, tried and tested that have been proven to work for most people. But the reason I'm not following any of those structures is I've had enough. The corporate world isn't for me. That's why living in the societal expectations isn't for me. That's why me going my own way was such a relief, such a liberating feeling. So me following someone else's structure is not going to work for me. So that is why I'm building and documenting what is starting to work for me. One size doesn't fit all. That is the whole point of this community, to understand what can work for you as an individual. We're all individuals on living this human experience. We are different aspects of the vast oneness. We are all creative beings. So let yourself be creative and try to understand what it is that works for you. You don't have to wake up at 6 o'clock. You don't have to go to bed at 8 o'clock. You don't have to wake up and do yoga. You don't have to wake up and do ice baths. Like, like there's one specific thing to do, It's not true. Like I said, I've had enough of that bullshit. But what is consistent across them is their belief in what they're creating and the consistent reminder that they're creating for themselves on where they're going and why. And the value of the vision. They align their activities in that day to day to get them closer to where they want to go. There's no one thing they all do, but they do have the right mindset. I have so much knowledge racked up, and it's time to turn it into wisdom. And how you turn that knowledge into wisdom is by action, by implementing. The mission is literally to elevate the collective consciousness like I personally did for myself. That is the meat of this whole thing. That is my main goal, along with becoming financially free to build my dream life. The number I can achieve at the end is more about saying I went live for 30 days straight. It's more about saying I committed to this change in my life. And now I literally changed my life after this certain amount of time. And it's going to be insane. I know it. So when I say building my dream life, it's less about making it look the part and more about putting the processes in place that will help me achieve that aim. I haven't completely written down the aims for my newsletter and whatnot, like with everything to change in my life, but I know the categories that I want. Like I said, the personal development, creative consulting, what routine I'm going to live, the projects, fitness, content, lifestyle, finances, travel. But most importantly, through everything, be loud. Be loud about it. I'm really bad about sharing my work. Like Erykah Badu said, because I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. That is fucking real. So I miss opportunities. I miss opportunities that come from sharing. I see a lot of people, whether it's creatives or just people in the corporate world, that would share their work or their perspective on things. And that's how they get gigs and huge deals and projects. And that changes their life, leading them closer to their dream life. So I'm going to create a method, a strategy for me to take to get me closer to my dream life. I have ideas in so many places, so many journals, so many places on my phone that I just need to create a slide for. That's what I'm saying. Like, I haven't done that yet. So that's coming soon. Stay tuned for that. I will take y'all along with me if you wish. I'm focused on completing and doing all that I set intentions for. But it's also important to become that energetic person who identifies with that desired life, that dream life. So be, do, and then we will have. Trying to fight this feeling of living like I'm surviving is a huge part of this. I felt this way for a lot of my life. Like I'm in the depths of that, like in the thick of it, since I could remember. So when I say finances, it's not just about the money. It's about changing my entire life so that I'm in the best position for me and my family to get the home, to get the properties of our dreams, to also book the jobs and opportunities that are for me, that I know that are for me. So the last thing is to figure out a new routine and stick to it. I have been doing much better at it these past few weeks, and I'm also getting on a better sleep schedule. The circadian rhythm is real. Like if we don't get enough, an ample amount of sleep and rest, we can't be great in our day-to-day life because we're so tired, we're depleted. So giving yourself enough energy and that permission to be the best you, it starts with sleep. Only you know the amount of sleep that you need. So I'm figuring out that routine as well. Meditating and visualizing and doing mirror work and doing yoga and going to the gym. Reading 1 or 2 pages in the morning when I wake up. I figured that I had to switch that around, because I used to meditate in the morning and read at night. But my mind couldn't stay stimulated enough to read a book at night. So I switched that around and it does actually work for me. Much better. But I do still meditate 2 times a day before I go to sleep and in the morning. But reading in the morning is key for me. Now, there's a few things that need to change. Also, figure that out yourself. A lot of plans and a lot of good ideas stem from having that good routine. even having and creating new habits. I've been juicing. I've been waking up in the morning sipping tea, like create a routine that sits good for you and your soul and your mind and your body. And then personal development. I feel like when you realize what it is that you want to do, you have to start from scratch. Learn the basics to build that foundation. Get clear on how shit works. For me, I plan on reading 3 or 4 books this year. So then maybe I can turn the books into an article on my newsletter and then also do my takes. I've been doing the same thing by creating small little videos on my Instagram and then reposting them on my TikTok and my YouTube. That is also great content. So, and people like it. People have been loving it. And also Creative Abundance Consulting, exclusive one-on-one sessions for me to help people create systems that can help them build more easier and understand what is working and let go of what's not working. So that's my 2025 plan. Welcome to ETV, where we are architecting and building our dream life. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.